Hello, good morning, or maybe good afternoon when you're watching this. Also, Keshe, Kawatse Halpa, Ado Yat E Shadene, Bob Kuiper's Yinsha, Michigan Billigana, Nishiado, Michigan Billigana, Bushtish Chain, Ado Zuni Billigana, Shache, Donestesia Billigana, Shandale. For all my Navajo colleagues, I work for the Northwest New Mexico Council of Governments. The COG, and it is better known as a regional planning and development agency, covering the counties of San Juan, McKinley, and Cibola, the tribes and the communities within that region. The COG manages a variety of programs that serve and generate resources for the region. Today, we're going to provide an introduction of the Regional Transportation Planning Organization. Again, I am the program manager within the Northwest New Mexico Council of Governments for the Northwest Regional Transportation Planning Organization. Our current chair is Dave Dutsui from the Pueblo of Acoma. Our current vice chair is Don Jaramillo from the City of Grants. The Northwest RTPO region includes San Juan, McKinley, and Cibola counties, cities of Gallup, Grants, and Village of Milan, the Navajo Nation, and the Pueblos of Acoma, Laguna, and Zuni. Farmington, Aztec, and Bloomfield constitute the Farmington MPO. Each participating local government, often called a tribal or local public agency, can assign a primary and an alternate RTPO representative to our Northwest Regional Transportation Planning Organization. The Northwest RTPO meets on the second Wednesday of each month, and attending members collaborate and coordinate on multimodal project development and maintenance. All primary and alternative members qualify to speak and or vote on both technical and policy issues. All meetings are advertised and open to the public and stakeholders. Meetings are advertised annually in the Gallup Independent and monthly in the Cibola Citizen. The Northwest RTPO has representatives from the following local governments in our region: the Pueblo of Acoma, the Pueblo of Laguna, the Pueblo of Zuni, Eastern Navajo Agency, Northern Navajo Agency, Cibola County, McKinley County, San Juan County, the City of Gallup, the City of Grants, the Village of Milan, and Rama Navajo. NMDOT representatives who meet with or have responsibility for collaboration with MPOs and RTPOs include statewide oversight from Jessica Griffin, the NMDOT Multimodal Planning and Programs Bureau Chief, Rosa Kozub, the Government to Government Unit Supervisor, Ron Shativa, the Tribal Liaison. Examples of representatives who serve or have served as NMDOT liaisons to our Northwest RTPO include Niella Kruger, the RTPO liaison from NMDOT, Ron Shativa, the tribal liaison, Joanne Garcia and Bill Santiago from NMDOT District 6, where Larry Maynard is the District 6 lead engineer, and James Mexia and Stephanie Medina from NMDOT District 5, where Paul Brasher is the District 5 lead engineer. Northwest RTPO projects include multimodal development of transportation infrastructure and services. with a biennial process for qualifying and listing projects in our RTIPR, which is the Regional Transportation Improvement Program recommendations. On an annual basis, RTPO members review and rank our region's public transportation funding applications. Northwest RTPO members and staff meet monthly to plan and report progress on development of transportation infrastructure and services within our region. The Northwest RTPO draws funding for transportation project development from a wide variety of state and federal sources, which may alternate from year to year. The NMDOT districts don't always line up with RTPO regions. For example, in our region, San Juan County and Northern Navajo is in the NMDOT District 5 area. McKinley and Cibola counties and the communities and pueblos within, along with Eastern and Raymond Navajo, are in NMDOT District 6. Staff develop a biennial, in other words, 2-year regional work program and budget. The budget, though, is staff organize and facilitate monthly RTPO meetings, assuring equal public access regardless of disability. Staff manage RTPO membership, develop, update, and maintain bylaws for RTPO functions and process, and maintain and update an RTPO website along with submitting quarterly reports to NMDOT detailing work accomplished. Staff help report professional development and training opportunities to members and plan their own professional development. Staff inform members on funding or project opportunities and deadlines, and act as a liaison between NMDOT and local governments to resolve project issues with assistance from our NMDOT liaison. The NMDOT produces a regional long-range transportation plan every 5 years that sets goals, objectives, actions, and performance measures for our region and its transportation vision. It is updated periodically to keep it current. Our regional transportation plan for the Northwest RTPO is incorporated and rolled up into the state's transportation plan that is also completed every 5 years. The Northwest RTPO Public Participation Plan is reviewed and typically approved every year at our January meeting. The Northwest RTPO updates their Regional Transportation Improvement Program recommendations, or the RTIPR, on a biennial basis. Projects or phases that have been completed are taken out, and proposed next phases or new projects are incorporated into the RTIPR update. One pathway for projects on the RTIPR is to be prioritized by the DOT districts in which the project resides and NMDOT on the STIP, or the Statewide Transportation Improvement Program. The STIP is a multi-year plan that includes specific funding levels by year for project implementation. This plan is fiscally constrained so that project costs do not exceed estimated revenues. The STIP does have the ability to set projects in out years as projects that can be moved in if other projects are not ready for implementation or if additional resources are needed or unavailable. The RTIPR looks at a variety of transportation projects, not just roads and bridges, including projects like planning, trails, federal lands projects, and many others. Available funding and pertinent RTIPR categories can fluctuate or change over time, as funding cycles and categories can alternate from federal sources. So the RTIPR remains a flexible, living document responding to changing federal priorities or advancing transportation technology. The RTPO updates and approves its Title VI plan and an Open Meetings Act resolution every year at our January meeting to ensure participation for all citizens, regardless of race, color, national origin, age, or ability. Many times, transportation projects can be the missing piece in economic development and another pathway to fund transportation projects not prioritized in the DOT STIP are through economic development sources such as the U.S. Economic Development Administration. One example of how the Northwest New Mexico COG and the Northwest RTPO can assist is the Zuni Mountains Trail Project that is attempting to plan, design, and build a large trail system that extends across Cibola and McKinley counties within Northwest New Mexico. The COG helped many project partners in developing a trails and conservation master plan for this project. Northwest RTPO members participate in corridor studies with some examples cited on this slide, as well as road safety audits. RTPO staff and NMDOT colleagues can advise members for development of project feasibility forms and project prospectus forms for transportation project inclusion in the RTIPR, which undergo prioritization ranking by the RTPO based on which project in the RTIPR in which they reside, or which project category in the RTIPR that they reside. The Northwest RTPO has worked with members to trim down the RTIPR in recent years to only include projects that qualify for federal funding through the NMDOT. Project feasibility forms provide an initial template for proposing a local project for funding. The information enables RTPO members and DOT staff to assess and discuss whether the project is ready to proceed to an initial or a next phase of development, whether it qualifies for federal funding, whether it appears ready for execution within the timelines for the proposed development, and whether planning, design, clearances, or construction phases are needed. Project prospective forms for all local projects approved to move forward provide more detailed information regarding the steps and outcomes the project will require and deliver, a more exact listing of anticipated costs, who at the local level is in charge, is the project supported in other local plans such as ICIP, long-range plans, bike, pedestrian, or Main Street plans as examples, and are proposed timelines realistic for project completion? And finally, does the project improve multimodal safety, support economic vitality, improve freight movement, improve multimodal access, provide environmental and quality of life benefits, and/or provide better system integration, management, and long-term preservation of transportation assets? RTPO and DOT staff, along with RTPO members, can track the progress of transportation projects through the RTIPR and the STIP and can assist members with additional funding strategies. Typically, transportation projects can take a while to get to completion and have to often cobble together funding sources from other financial options. On an annual basis, usually at a winter meeting, RTPO members rate and rank public transportation funding applications for our public transit and elderly and handicapped service providers. RTPO members can bring project ideas or problems to the RTPO for discussion and advisement from RTPO or DOT staff, along with other RTPO members with similar experience. Discussion usually results in decisions whether to A, enter the project into the RTIPR process for potential funding from the NMDOT STIP, or B, consider alternate funding strategies for projects which do not qualify for federal funding or simply need alternative sources. One of the ways the RTPO can help with local lead projects that do not qualify for federal funding is develop alternative funding strategies through programs like state capital outlay, economic development programs, and many others. We are happy to sit down with any RTPO members to flesh out a plan and provide some insights that your entity can lean on. In this case, RTIPR projects that qualify for federal funding, once prioritized and programmed in the STIP, these projects are implemented by DOT and district staff as long as estimated resources are available. An economic development project that also requires transportation infrastructure improvements can apply funding towards transportation improvements as well as other infrastructure. For executing the transportation aspect of this funding, it's advisable to collaborate and coordinate with the New Mexico Economic Development Department, local and tribal economic development organizations, Council of Government staff, and NMDOT district staff. Many proposed projects may require the following steps: feasibility assessment, traffic impact analysis, or road safety audits, preliminary engineering reports, project design and clearances, followed eventually by construction, and then, if the local government is responsible, maintenance. Otherwise, if it's a DOT road, they provide the ongoing maintenance. This slide provides a wide variety of potential government non-transportation sources of funding and suggests pursuing private sector funding as well. The typical biennial RTIPR update is around a lengthy process starting with the issuance of a call for transportation projects that typically occurs in April. The schedule is outlined in our Call for Transportation Projects Guide, but typically has the following steps and general time periods. July, project feasibility forms come due. August, project consultation meetings where RTPO members, staff, DOT district staff, and NMDOT central staff sit down and discuss project readiness. In October, typically project prospectus forms are due for all proposed projects qualifying for the RTIPR and its various project categories. November or December Northwest RTPO meeting, project presentations to the RTPO Committee for Prioritization or General Support occur. In January, the Northwest RTPO review the draft RTIPR presented for any final edits. In February, the Northwest RTPO members vote and authorize the final final Northwest RTPO RTIPR. And in March, the NMDOT District 6 Zipper meeting develops a regional transportation improvement plan for that district, which includes projects from the Northwest RTPO and other RTPOs within the district region. Finally, my contacts as the RTPO manager are available, and the Northwest New Mexico Council of Governments is located at 106 West Aztec Avenue in Gallup, New Mexico. Contacts are provided for any interested citizens and/or RTPO members or local government leaders.